You guys want to build a God Squad and title buying packs? Check out my new sponsor, AOEAH.com, and use code BREE for 3% off your order and get your head started on building that team, man. Alright, what's going on, y'all, man? We're back here with another video for you guys today. I should have had this video maybe like a week ago, but I will be posting this on a Friday because there's really no content, and yeah. So let's go over the best abilities now that we actually had time to play the game and test out everything. We're in November getting ready for Harvest, and now the game will release in August. We kind of see majority of the abilities and how they work, so now we get the idea of which is the best, which is you rock with. I'm a very decent player. I can average about 16 to 19, 15 to 19. It just depends on how I'm feeling, if I'm actually playing smart. So I kind of know a little bit. I'm not confident like that. I'm just a basic dude spending a lot of money. But the thing is, like, you still got to play. I don't care how much money you spend. If you ask at the game, you're gonna lose a lot. So let's talk about the offensive line. This year, I think this is gonna be the most important abilities for linemen this year because of how crazy edge threat, double or nothing, under pressure is this year in this game. Now, discounted abilities run this game. Well, abilities run this game, but if you get a discounted abilities, that is huge because that lets you play around in certain positions. Trent Williams, I believe, Andrew Thomas, which I can't find in the auction house because I was going to use him for this video, but I can't because he's not in the auction house, are the main two left tackles right now. We do get Jonathan Ogden. Well, probably the time you guys have seen this, I don't know if he gets edge protector for 1 AP or whatever. Those are the only two guys who get discounted edge protector. Obviously, Tom Compton do as well. I think originally 3. But I think edge protector is going to be much needed. Whenever a tackle gets it for 0 AP, it's going to be on my team. So, obviously, stuff like Nasty Street, post up, mainly want to be used for your centers and guards when you get your double teams going. But as far as your tackles is concerned, especially on next gen, you're going to need this to deal with those edge threats. That's the only thing I might recommend. Unless it's for 0 AP or whatever, I always would recommend that. Now you can go with threat detector, identifier. Those are not some bad abilities as well if you have that extra AP laying around. But you guys can tell whoever's using who, could depend on your opponent after the first series or whatever. You got the idea. Okay, that's who's using it. Let me just watch him. Now, let's say he's going from lineman, linebacker. You can make that decision, but you can 9 times out of 10 tell which person they're using. So, as far as tight ends is concerned, everyone has different styles. Like I said, once again, discounted abilities run this game. Me personally, I like matchup nightmare. I like deep in or deep out elite because I think when Kyle Pitts, the way his stuff is set up, he is deep in, but deep out is really, really good. I think on every position for a receiver and tight end. Matchup nightmare, you want to go with tight end apprentice, outside apprentice, slot apprentice, or whatever. If you make those type of adjustments and you're that type of player, then I will go for that tight end apprentice because that's your style until you get a quarterback that gets hot route master and allows you to free up some AP. But if that depends on your style, I think deep out or matchup nightmare is going to be your go-to one. Kittle gets it for 1 AP. Whenever we get a budget route tech, which is a lot of freaking training, but I do think mid out, mid in, short end, or whatever, any of those ends, depending on which your style is, are going to be the main ones. Red zone threat is not bad. High point the ball, let's go crazy. That's what I recommend when it comes to your tight ends. Like I said, everyone has different styles. My play style, mid end or deep out, just depends on what I can get for cheap. When it comes to receiver, same thing for tight ends. The factor still comes over to your receivers as well. I like mid out, but like I said, some players just don't get that, or they don't get it for as cheap, which for example applies to Gobert. You get it for 3 AP. I don't have the room to mess around and slap it on and screw myself all the way around. I really throw to him anyway, unless it's like some type of slant route or whatever. But regardless, I put on in this case if it do light up, I have it. I do honestly recommend route tech, but the only person at this moment to get route tech is Jerry Rice, and you have to power him up, and that set piece is like I think close to $1 million. Might be lower. It's been like a week. So, if you're a wide receiver apprentice type of guy, slot apprentice or whatever, slap on that. Deep out, red zone threat is also really, really good as well. Slot on max is actually pretty good as well too, but like I said, it's kind of expensive. Playmaker we have not yet tested out. Playmaker, no one has yet to have playmaker. But if you are good for moving your players, I mean, the quicker reaction jab, but I always do recommend just deep out because if you're on next gen, you have these big receivers, they're gonna catch it 9 times out of 10. So I do recommend that matchup nightmare if you can get it, but I always recommend mid out. If you're like I said, slot apprentice guy, go ahead and go for it. Like I said, calculator for 1 AP, 6'5". I mean, come on now, you can't beat that. Route tech. So yeah, now when it comes to running backs, it's kind of easy because jukebox and evasive has been asked the last couple of years. I never recommend jukebox or evasive, but you guys ask me for advice. I would never recommend it because in the right person's hands, they can get it to work, but it's very hard to get those jukes. They don't move like in like 20 when they were just. They were so quick with it. This year, not the case. I do think power backs are the way to go, or receiving backs. If you still see a running back a lot, backfield master, which no one currently has at the moment. Backfield mismatch, or anything receiving going for your running backs. I do like bruiser, me personally. Better trucking, powerful trucking, and stiff arm animations. You can get away with a little bit of jukebox evasive, just really true depends. Fullback, I'm probably gonna do honorary lineman because I will have an extra AP to play with. And you know, why not? He will be on kickoff, fullback, or I formation, or what's the it's the strong close, strong weak close, or whatever. So he's gonna be blocking majority of the time, working submit at tight end and just have him go crazy. Quarterback, once again, is kind of a controversial one because you got to pick what best fits you. Now, truly, in my opinion, I legit just did the Josh Allen gameplay the other day. I don't think Gunslinger will be as good as it was in previous years. It doesn't. Usually we used to have. It was better than the set feed lead and pass lead elite. It just speeds up the throwing animation. It doesn't just. I don't know. It's compared to what Lamar. Obviously depends on the release and what player it is. I'm going back to Lamar. I just have him right here. I didn't change him. I'm gonna test him out with set feed lead to see how he actually is and get my final verdict on this. Because I'm still on the fence between Gunslinger and pass lead elite. Set feed lead. I think set feed lead might be the way to go over Gunslinger, my personal opinion. But Fearless, I think, is a top 2 ability. The way the blitzes are coming in under pressure, you need to negate that. I think the only guy I think is quarterback wise is worse with all them abilities that you get all this discount stuff from. It's gonna be John Elway. Not everybody has 5+ million coins. Fearless is a good one. Hot Rod Master is a good one. Set feed lead is a good one. Inside Deadeye was glitched the last couple years. It's no longer glitched. Roman Deadeye, perfect passing accuracy while outside the pocket. I've not yet tested it out, but I don't see a lot of people really using this ability because you can glitch it out and just run outside the pocket. When you're holding R2 and let go of it, you will still get the perfect Roman Deadeye. Quick draw is not a bad one to add. Fastest throwing animation when under pressure, but sometimes I feel like it will screw you. Threat detector, but you may want that on your lineman. Conductor's really good, but the way the game is, and then controller goes dead every time I record. Every time I record, it never fails, bro. I need to go back to charging bad boys. Anyways. The reason why I say conductors, because half the time they walk their ass up to the line of scrimmage. I'm trying to hurt them quick like a person. They never do it. So conductors are a really solid ability, but if you really just look at it, your main long run Deadeye is not bad as well either. So that Deadeye might be glitched, but the main ones you probably really want to use, set feed lead, maybe Gunslingers, depends. Fielders for sure. That's what I would honestly truly rock with. Now with the defensive side. Now defense is where I'm kind of like really the best at when it comes to offense. I'm a little iffy on it, but defense I can make some adjustments and go from there and which abilities will come with. Once again, it comes down to discount abilities. That's really where this game is headed, is discounted ability. So when it comes to your safeties position, I do believe it depends on your style. Now if you're a man coverage type of guy, which majority of guys are, you want to go with that deep route KO, deep man or whatever it is. What's it called? Medium route KO. You want to rock out with those type of abilities. Maybe inside shade, outside shade, just depends, which is kind of expensive, but you want to go with those man abilities. I'm a hybrid. I run man and zone. Just really depends on the scenario. But for my safeties, I gotta have either mid zone or deep in KO. One of the two. Because depending on how people are playing this game, people love to they'll chuck it up deep. Plexico, Kyle Pitts, Pete, Calvin Johnson. I need to be able to knock them balls out and it lights up. So I do think mid zone might be the best way to go. But nothing wrong with deep in or deep out, because for sure I gotta knock them balls out. There's nothing really much you can do. Like I said, mid zone is one of my main ones too. Demoralizer, not really much. Acrobat was so good last year, they kind of doubled it. So whenever we get some cheaper people with Acrobat, it would the main go-to ability. But as of right now, I steered away from it because there's so much AP. It's ridiculous. Enforce I think is a little bit better than last year. Obviously you get it for 1 AP, mainly your safeties. Lurker, I wouldn't recommend that. Honestly, for your linebackers. Bench press, film study, it's still also pretty expensive. Show offensive plays after repeated play calls. We'll see how that go once we actually see it. But the main ones you're going to want to be using on your safeties, either acrobat, your man KO to be deep or medium or short, or like I said, your medium zone KOs, or maybe pick artists. Just depends when you get better catching and improved stamina. Mainly the main ones will be for better catching, but truly, in my honest opinion, they still drop picks with the shit from what I've seen. But I heard it's really, really good though. From my experience, they still drop the damn ball like some dummies. So it is what it is. When it comes to, like I said, Sean State is kind of honestly very similar. Mid zone, deep out zone KO, pillar style. As far as your linebackers concerns, pass rush, I use Jonathan here because I run Legend Team. Speedster's not bad at all. It actually was really, really good when I was using them. But the main ones for your pass rush, now if you run like a 4-3 or 3-4, which you guys probably shouldn't, this is like Madden 15 or whatever, you're putting your linebackers, you're not putting your linebackers in coverage, they're rushing the passer. And you have safeties out there. But the main ones that we have really mainly been seeing is edge threat, which I'll probably show you guys in a second, is edge threat, double or nothing, under pressure. Those are your main three. Or maybe inside and outside stuff. But outside stuff is trash. I'm into that. Middle linebackers, the only thing I recommend is either enforcer or lurker. Or they get acrobat for cheap, but the main one for you guys is going to be lurker or enforcer. Those are like the only two main abilities for your linebacker. Like I always say, I don't recommend using them. Like I said, I mentioned for the linemen, who's a good example? I guess Julius Peppers, because he's one of the best pass rushers of the game. Under pressure is going to be your main issue. That, edge threat, unpredictable. I know Terrell Suggs gets this for cheap and for 0 AP. Instant rebate is not bad. Extra credit. I mean, double or nothing is the main one I've seen that's given me the trouble the most. Has been double or nothing stacked with either under pressure or edge threat. Like you slap on these three combos, you got 2 or 3, you finna see instant sheds. It's legit ridiculous from what I've seen. So those are gonna be your main ones for your linemen. Like I said, depends on your style. But me personally, my goal is always to stop the run, because if I can stop the run, I know you can pass. I can put people in coverage and then make it work. Now when it comes to me and Joe Green, like I said, your D tackles, you want inside stuff. If you able to get double or nothing or whatever, you D tackle, go ahead and go for it. But my main goal is to stop this run. So if you get someone like Jeffrey Simmons, which he's the only one that gets inside stuff for 1 AP, I think somebody else, go ahead and go for it. I use Miles Garrett D tackle. The outside stuff is ass. I'm not gonna lie. Because they get double teamed, it cancels the ability out. I've seen it. I looked at it. I don't think I've never seen him stop the run and the stretch or anything related to an outside zone play with outside stuff or whatever it's called. I can't use that ability, and I have him because he's fast. I would think, okay, he can get there, but I mean, no outsiders. I'm so sorry. No outsiders is trash. Unless it's 0 AP, I won't use it. When it comes to your corners, and this is where I say it's depending on your style as well. It's not that many zone archetype corners. It's mainly been man-to-man corners, and that's what they've really been getting. So you do have mid-zone KO for 2 AP. He is a man. Once he gets for 1 AP or 0 AP, I will be using it. But because it is 0 AP and I have caught some interceptions and I have some thrown some picks and I played Gilmore so many times, this has lit up numerous times. So tip drill, 0 AP, why not? Pick artist, not bad as well. But like I said, mid zone or go to deep route KO or whatever, or medium route KO, that's how you're gonna go crazy. Also, outside, inside shade, depending on how your opponent goes, or depending on what you think is best, if you have them in the slot. People that do a lot of corner routes, break out with the outside shade, the faster reactions of receiver cuts outside the numbers. Keep in mind, they catch you, they're gonna catch you 9 out of 10. So the best thing maybe to do is probably gonna be in some KO, just depending on the player you're gonna be. Like I said, I always recommend the medium route KOs. I mean, either medium route or the mid zones. That's gonna be your best friend. Ramsey, one of the latest corners. Obviously, we get Mike Haynes. Well, I don't know because I don't know his abilities because I haven't seen him just yet. The deep route KO for 2 AP and mid zone for 2 AP. So like I said, depending on your style and what you like to run, that's what I truly recommend. Like I said, no lurker. Bench press is okay, but I'm not going to waste that. One step ahead, which we have not yet seen in the game, so let's see how dangerous that's going to be. And that's mainly it from what I like to rock. I can show you guys how I run my settings on offense for the time being, because I need to activate what's his name. So Trent Williams, actually I can't do that because I'm gonna have to get that right tackle. But set feet lead, I'm probably gonna lose Lamar anyway for 3 AP. But like I said, edge protector, set feet lead, deep in, deep out, mid in, deep out, bruiser, and also edge protector. Once I get some discount, I can probably move stuff around. That's why I really mainly rock out on offense. Defense, I have so many because there's so many discounted players. Tip drill for 0, under pressure for 2, mid zone for 2, No outsiders for 1, but I think that's a waste of the ability, to be honest with you. Crusher for 1, deep in zone kill for 1, unpredictable for 1, mid zone kill for 1, mid zone also for 2, pick artist for 1. I think pick artist is really good on your user. I feel like I see some crazy animations with this. I don't know if it's better. It's not better than lurker, but I see some crazy jumps from this dude. You know, he has 6'4". Inside stuff, speedster, deflator. These guys get in and kickoff, well, mainly Kiko. And that's mainly about it. Now, when it comes to your special teams, the main one you want to have it on is your kicker. And I feel like sometimes this stuff starts to glitch out. I don't know if they got it right. But mainly for sure, clutch kicker immunity to the icy kick effect, and Zen kicker slower kicking meter for all kicks over 45 yards. I can make kicks under, but when it gets to that over, the bar starts to slam down a little bit. I just needed just to slow down just a little bit. So that when it comes to the best abilities, in my personal opinion, because that's what I truly use. Some people aren't fortunate to get the discounted ability against certain players, but that's the main goal of how the game is going to go. So hope you guys enjoyed, man. I'm out. Peace.